Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, and right now we are joined by Featherweight PFL champion who took home a world title and $1 million back home to Dubai. Welcome to the show, Brendan Loughnane.
Close enough. I'll take that one.
Loughnane.
I've heard worse.
Loughnane?
Loughnane.
Loughnane, yes.
I can't get it.
That wrong. It's Loughan.
And he said it 4 times prior.
Where is the T in it? Loughnane.
I can't believe your boss is Irish and you're butchering these Irish names.
You should see what they did to his name.
Richard Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald's an easy one though.
It's a very
It's
easy
very
one.
easy
People
compared
don't
to
know.
mine.
Compared to, yes. Oh my God. We should do like a how can you say this name segment.
With our entire
I've got like hidden news and everything in there. Mine's a difficult one.
Thank you so much for joining. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself before we get into your latest achievement?
Yeah, so I'm Brendan. I'm from Manchester in England. I've been doing this now for 16 years. I've been doing it since a kid. My most recent fight was at Madison Square Garden. It was for $1 million in the world title that we have here. It's been a long, hard road. And I'm happy to be here because I now call Dubai my home. You know, I've been here for 3 years now. This is where I train for my fights now and everything. So it's great to do a bit of news and stuff and meet you guys.
Oh, pleasure's all ours. It's all. So $1 million, Madison Square Garden. What was that like?
Yeah, it was an
More so the fight. What was the fight like?
The fight was good. It was a difficult fight. The guy was really good, and you know the guy was from New York, so I kind of had to go and take it from his back garden, which was difficult. But we brought a lot of crazy Mancunians out there with us, so I didn't feel like I was on my own. The guy was a really talented fighter, and we put on a great show for the fans. And ultimately, you know, I got it, and someone had to lose. Unfortunately, it was him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sucks to be him.
But $1 million, so now you're officially a millionaire.
I am a millionaire.
What does it feel like?
Good.
What are you thinking of doing with the cash prize?
I literally walked into an apartment about 3 days ago and went, yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, I'll take it.
I'll just take it. Yeah,
All cash payment.
Cash. Straight away.
Basic.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was a
even
good
care what the
feeling.
rooms look like.
Yeah.
Give me 3 more.
No, literally, here's what I did. You're like this. So I walked in and the bed was there and it had a great view of the city. It's in JLT, so it's overlooking the marina. And I lay in the bed and then I was just like, I opened my eyes. I was like, yeah, that view will do me in the morning. I'll take it. I'm a view guy.
100%.
You know, you always think of winning the lottery, and then you're just like, okay, wait, if I had all that money, what would I do with it? But it's okay. Give us a breakdown, and then we'll get into your childhood.
Yeah, well, I think first of all was the fight because the winner got $1 million flat and the loser got 50 grand. So in my head, I was like, well, I'm willing to die here tomorrow night. Like, I would die for $1 million. So I literally said that to the guy. I'm like, are you willing to die tomorrow night? And he's like, yeah. I was like, no, you're not. I actually am. That's the difference.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how serious it got. Like, you know when you're in school and people say, what would you do for $1 million?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what would you do?
I would die for $1 million.
Yeah, I would die for $1 million. So that's the mentality that I took into it. And that's the reason it's sat here right now.
So speaking of school, how were you like as a child? Were you a fighter? Did you get into a lot of like tips with your friends? How were you?
That's usually the first question I get asked. Was you always fighting in school?
Do you have brothers?
No brothers, no sisters. I'm an only child.
So was everyone in school?
Yeah, well, no, listen, I actually wasn't that kid at all. I never really got into any problems. I was just always very sporty. I was a very good soccer player. And I just wasn't good enough to play for Manchester United. So it's like, well, I better find something else. And my next door neighbour used to fight. He used to do MMA.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're talking about a sport here that's only 25 years old. So it's a very, very, very new sport. And if it wasn't for people like Conor McGregor, like it wouldn't be as big as it is. So, you know, we can thank him for that, and Khabib and all these other guys. So yeah, he kind of bundled me into the car as a kid and went, come on, you're coming down the gym. And yeah, I owe him a lot of thanks.
Did you take him with you to Madison Square Garden?
Yeah. He comes to all the fights now. Yeah, he does.
Wow.
He don't miss.
So he's like your mentor in a lot of ways, is he?
Pretty much. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, he is.
So what was the preparation process like? It's been a long time coming. What did you have to go through to get to the stage where you're at now?
Hell, I'm back.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hell, I'm back.
What's hell like?
Hell, I actually found a bit of peace in hell because I was in there that long.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, it was. I know. I just trained unbelievably hard. I was always known for that guy that would just always be in the gym and like bit of a gym rat. They used to call me like, "Go home. Do you not have a life outside of fighting?" And I was like, "No, I don't. You know what I mean? This is what I do."
Yeah.
And they say if you want to be great at something, you know, you've got to be absolutely obsessed, and that's exactly what I am.
But walk us through the preparation process. How many hours are you spending at the gym? What are you eating? Mentally, how are you preparing?
So like I say, again, I've had a lot of fights. This was my 41st fight. So I'm used to all that. I fought in America before, maybe 9 times. I fought in Madison Square Garden before this as well. So I was used to the process. And I took myself to Thailand for 6 weeks because there was some high-level Russian training partners that I used to train with. And yeah, just got after it.
Oh, the Russians.
Oh yeah, the Russians don't mess around. They're my favourite people to train with. Intense. Intense.
I'd be terrified.
They were scared of me by the end of it. I was on a warpath because I knew what was coming at the end of it. So you can imagine how hard I trained. I left every last bit of my soul in that training camp, and that's why we got it.
So what all techniques did you learn in the training camp? Like different styles of fighting, is it?
What's great about Thailand, there's a gym called Tiger Muay Thai, and everybody goes there. You have the Brazilians, the Eastern Europeans, the Russians, the English, and we all kind of melt together. It's like a melting pot of all different martial arts from all around the world. And we all share knowledge. And it's like a road that's about a mile long. It's just the best environment for fighters. You know, maybe 15 to 20 food places, 5 yoga spots, 7 gyms, hotels. Soi Thai it's called for anyone that wants to know. And it's a fantastic place. It's a very well-known gym, Tiger Muay Thai. Created many UFC champions before me, and I'm sure after me, and it is the perfect environment in order to succeed in this sport.
So when was the moment that you realized you want to take this professionally and go as far as to win this beautiful heavy belt in front of us, go to the training camp, go all in? What was that click for you?
There was never a moment really, like, because the sport just wasn't big enough, and like for many years I was just doing it because I enjoyed fighting. I wasn't making anything for a long time. I only really started making money over the last 2 years, just because of guys like Conor and the ESPN deals that they've got now in DAZN and Sky Sports. It's on all the big platforms now, whereas when I first started, it just wasn't. So I was genuinely doing it for the love of the sport, which is crazy because it is so dangerous. But then when it started to actually earn off it, like, it was like, you're going to really pay me that to do that I've been doing for free.
So what point did you start getting paid?
I think I signed for the PFL 3 years ago. And
what exactly is the PFL?
PFL is an organisation. It's like the UFC. It's a second to the UFC. UFC, PFL, Bellator. It goes like this. I was in the UFC for a bit too. Now I'm in the PFL. And I really enjoy fighting for the PFL because it's a different format. It's a tournament format. So you fight 4 times in 7 months. You have to win all 4. And it's really wild. But you can have an on-season and an off-season. So right now I'm in off-season. About to go back into on-season. I'm scared. Thinking I have to go through that again.
You've got this.
Do you have some like injury, some crazy injuries have you attained from these fights?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think the craziest injury that I got, I broke my arm in the middle of a fight once. I was fighting in Germany against a local guy, and I snapped my arm here. I did a technique called a spinning back fist. So that means you spin around like this, boom, and the guy put his head down, and my arm snapped on his head.
Do you want to try on Simran?
And crazy as it sounds, I actually went on to win that fight with one arm. I ended up knocking him out with a head kick. Yeah. So that was probably the craziest story I've had in the cage.
No pain, no gain.
No, there was pain. There was a lot of pain.
That's what I'm saying. No pain, no gain.
There was a lot of pain, trust me.
But question, you said previously that, you know, when you were at this training camp, it's like a melting pot of cultures.
Yes.
You guys were all like sharing techniques. Would you say that's important to like share your knowledge instead of just keeping it to yourself? Would you say that helps yourself grow and like your competition grow, because you're basically revealing trade secrets to competition, right?
Of course, yeah. No, that's a very good question. So, when you're over there, I'm very like. So, for example, I'll give you an example. I broke my second toe like 12 days before the fight. I kicked this guy and he blocked it with his elbow and my toe snapped. And then because there's so many people in this gym, I don't really trust everybody. So I'm like, is somebody going to tell my opponent? And then my opponent put up a really funny post a few days after. And I'm like reading this post thinking, is he talking about my toe?
Is this about my toe?
Yeah, like, is that about my... You know what the post actually said? There's a saying in America called toe the line. Have you heard it?
No.
He put toe the line, and I'm like, he knows about my toe. I actually have to...
Weird coincidence, probably about your toe.
I asked him after the fight. I said, be honest, we went for dinner like 3 weeks after the fight. I was in Vegas, so we met up and he went, I had no idea. He goes, that's a saying in America. I was like, thank God, because I thought somebody in the gym has told him online.
Your toe's broken? What?
Yeah.
During the fight?
Literally, that's what I thought. So, yeah, I mean, like you say, there is a lot of people there, but it's also hard to not reveal your trade secrets. And it's a quite close-knit community, and like, Brendan's working on this week, Brendan's game plans this, that can all come out. So,
are you okay with revealing these trade secrets? Like, if that means you're getting more knowledge in return from the other person?
It's pretty hard for me to not reveal it now because there's so many hours of YouTube of me fighting that there's not much you're going to see in the gym that I've not already done in the cage. So
is that the best way to prepare for a fight? Is to study them, basically? So
recently, I've gone away from that. That used to be my thing. I used to just stare at them all day and become obsessed with this person and know everything that they're doing. I'd be on their Instagram thinking what they do. But my last, like...
In a healthy way.
Yeah, in an obsessed way. But like my last 4 or 5, I've completely gone away from it. And like, I just pass the footage to my coaches. I say, you just tell me. And because I did used to just drive myself crazy, like thinking he does this better than me, he does that better than me. And like on the night, it doesn't really matter. They're going to lock the door. And
so do you think that release from the stress of what this person's up to led to that?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you're the first person to actually verbalize it like that, but probably, yeah.
Crazy.
It does get stressful. I mean, imagine you're about to fight a guy. For example, I fought this guy last year. He's 19-0. He had Khabib in his corner. You know, he's like Khabib's best mate.
Yeah.
He wrestles bears for a living. Yeah. Before he fought me, he's wrestled bears. Yeah. And I'm like, imagine watching this on YouTube and you're thinking, well, this is going to be a fun night, isn't it? So I've gone away from that now. Let them do what they're doing in their country. I'll do what I'm doing. We'll shake hands before the fight.
You've probably fought the Loch Ness monster. Like, come on.
I fought some dangerous people, yeah. A few dangerous people, yeah.
Okay, so when you won the match, right?
Yeah.
Your dad was with you.
Yeah.
What was the significance of having him there?
Everyone was there. My whole family, my mum, my dad, everybody, like everyone that sacrificed to get me to where I am, made the trip to New York, and it made it extra special. You can find clips online of the moment. They've got cameras on my whole family when I won, and it was just a free-for-all, screaming, people falling over. Like, yeah, it was, because it was such a great fight.
Moment at the same time.
Unbelievable moment. Like, they have 6 weight divisions, so 6 people win this million and 6 people go home without it. So they call it the richest night in sport because they give away all this money, and there's so much on the line because one guy's going to change his whole life and the other guy's just going to go back to the drawing board.
Wow.
Yeah, insane.
No. But you speak of all of this in such a spiritual way almost.
Yeah.
You know, you're not seeing it as a black and white situation. Like, you seem to very rationalize. Be a sport
about it, yeah.
Yeah, like the way you're approaching thinking of the sport in general. It's very deep.
I think because I've spent a lot of time in the sport and I've done a lot of mental work on the sport. I have a mind coach. I have other things going on as well. I'm really into yoga in a weird way. I do a lot of yoga. So I think that centers me a lot, and I know how to verbalize my experiences within the sport because a lot of media training doing this for a long time, I can actually get my point across, whereas most fighters can't. They're so stuck in just fighting that they don't work on the other side of it, where I think this is just as important as the fight now because, you know, media is a massive part of my job also.
So compared to fighters who don't, you know, do yoga and who don't have mind coaches, how do you think that's helped you, and what do you think the difference is between you and them?
Can you see a difference between you and them?
It's
like, do you think it's important to have a mind coach in your industry?
There's some people that put it as much as 90% mental, this sport. Really, people will put that much emphasis on it.
Yeah.
That it's 90% in your head. Because I've met many fighters over my career who are a million times better than me in the gym but they can't put it together on the night because of the mind.
Yeah.
So I've met many fighters who are terrible in the gym, but they can put it together in the mind. So, I mean, you've got to make your mind bulletproof, because at the end of the day, you're going in front of millions of people in a small pair of shorts in Madison Square Garden with the lights like this. And you've got to fight this person, not to the death, but as close to, before the ref stops it. So you have to be in another place mentally anyway to be able to even do that, right?
Yeah. Any tips that your mental coach has shared with you that you can, you know, like tell the audience about? Like in just terms of like making yourself bulletproof, making your mind bulletproof?
Yeah, I think one of the main things I've always taken away from it is to not make it as big as it is. So, like, just treat it like another day in the gym. I'll wake up, my coach will proper downplay the whole situation. So, yeah, we're just going to the gym. You know, this guy's coming down. He's a pretty good fighter. We're going to spar him, because that's what we do to prepare. We spar. So, you know, we downplay everything, like, and then we get in the changing room. I have my own music on, what I've used all the way through the camp. So that'll just be familiar.
What music's that?
Bit of everything. It can go either way in the gym with the music, depending on what mood I'm in. Then the walkout and all that, and then I'm just looking at the guy and I'm just in an insane state that I can't really explain what it is. It's like a flow state. You just sometimes I'll watch fights back and not even realise that I've done that, because I'm like, where did that even come from? But you're just in the flow state. Like, you see great footballers, any sports people, when they get in the zone, it's the zone. And I think it's very important. The ones that actually succeed are the ones that can go into the zone and ignore this big moment and lights and just actually perform to the best of their ability. And that's what I've been managing to do over the last few years, especially.
So you're saying that your coaches downplay it, right? But isn't it just what you make it? Like, it being downplayed to that level is the same level of intensity almost as the matches?
Downplay as in, imagine like actually thinking that if you lose, you're going to get 50 grand. If you win, you're going to get $1 million. Imagine that in your head. And imagine thinking, this guy's one of the best guys in America. And I downplay all of that, because it's like, sometimes the fear of that can overtake the moment. And you let the moment get to you instead of you taking the moment. So I just treat it really, really relaxed. Like, whatever. And usually it works out for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, because it can get overwhelming, you know, like all those, like the pressure and then the audience, like thinking of all of that all together. But before we finish the interview, what is next for you?
Back in training now. I've had like 6 weeks off, not off, little bits of training here and there, but time to get back to the grind. I'll probably go back to Thailand for the serious bit of the training camp. But yeah, just bought a property. So excited to be a Dubai homeowner now. So I'm happy about that. I can't wait to put all my little bits in there. And
housewarming.
Make it homely.
Are we invited?
Yeah, of course. Come on. JLT, nice little view. I love it.
Congrats, honestly, and congrats on everything.
Thank you, guys.
Thus far.
Appreciate it.
More to come.
Yep.
That was Brendan L on the show.
Brendan L, I like it. Much easier.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.